Let me just double check some things here. Hey guys, how's it going? Let's make sure everything's working here and then we'll get started. Let's see. It's a little better. Okay. And then I wanted to try something like this. What do you what do you like to listen to? That'd be cool. And stop shaking, stop shaking. I mean it. Yeah, that'd be cool. And where did I put that so it's not in the way? That's better. I hope. Okay. I'm going to set it right here. And then I'm going to tune in from here. And we're live. Okay, good. How's the feed today? Looks okay. So it's not double take. Yeah, that's better. Just a little more. There you go. All right. So I was practicing some rudiments yesterday for my live stream, and I didn't get to flams. So I want to make sure I do some flams today. Hope you guys are doing well. That sounded good. Flams are a lot of fun to play. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Oh, hey, good to see you guys. I'd like to listen to The Red Means I Love You by Max Buckley. Interesting. Great recommendation. I've never heard of that. We need to make sure we need to check out that song. All right. Good to see you guys, and hope you guys are having a good day. So I'm going to play this on Spotify. I think I can find that there, right? Oh, don't do that. There we go. So yeah, usually I like to warm up with a little bit of rudiments, and then we'll go from there. And if you have any questions or anything you want to submit, please feel free to. Just make it family friendly. That's the only thing I'd like to kindly request. But let's take a look at the red. And what was it? means I love you by Mads Buckley. Wait, how do you spell to the red? Red. Oh, red means I love you. I think that's the name of the song. Red means yeah. They say strange fascination, infatuation, a lunatic. Call me what suits your taste. I just want a taste, and I've always heard it's what's inside that counts. That's nice. My insides are red, yours are too, and the red on my face is matching you. And goodness, you're bleeding, what a wonderful feeling. You're down and beating my head is just reeling. The red means I love you. Taste in your blood means I love you. The red means I love you. So we got a lot to cover today, but I want to say thank you for recommending that song. Unfortunately, there is a lot of double meaning maybe in this song, so correct me if I'm wrong. This seems like a weird song to listen to, but I like the music. The lyrics I'm not so sure of, but thank you for recommending that. Mads Buckley seems to be like an artist whose independent style reflects a little bit of like rhythm and blues, almost moody blues, right? Something that you would just want to listen to when you're feeling kind of down. But she also has a little bit of like swing there or jazz, something jazzy in there. So great recommendation. But yeah, again, maybe in the lyrics, I'm not so sure. But thank you. Name 5 Lucas the Drummond songs. Well, that's a great question. I don't know if I could slim everything down to just 5, but I have 5 that I would really, really recommend because I've developed a playlist for those who want to learn drums. So I teach at a music school, and here are some 5 that you might want to practice. Among the top 5, I would say fun songs to drum to, fun songs to listen to, and I hope you enjoy these, would be All Star by Smash Mouth. That's an obvious, killer song. And it came out, with Shrek and everything, but it came out like in 1999. That's one of my top favorite songs to jam to. I also like Stevie Wonder. This has been a popular one among my students. Uptight, Everything's All Right from 1965. It's a Motown song. So I don't know if you guys are into Motown, but it's a lot of fun. There's, I've used this one a lot. Bad Day. Do you remember that from Daniel Powter, the Canadian pop singer, songwriter from 2004, 2005? It's been a while. And it's a great song to just jam to. I don't know if you're into that kind of style as well. But the other 2, I guess, might have to be some Imagine Dragons. Almost any one of their big hits, like Believer, obviously, Radioactive, and some of the other ones that my students have liked would be Enemy and Bones. Those are just groovy songs. It's fun how they mix rock with EDM. And then maybe one more. Again, more of the classic rock style, because I've done a lot of that for my students. Back in Black by AC/DC. I know this is kind of a heavy song for most people, but it's fun to jam to. So those are my top 5 to just rock out to, but that may change. There's so much good music out there. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, no, and you're right. It doesn't have any curse words, but at the same time, there's a lot of meaning packed into there. The red means I love you. I love you. It's kind of weird about an anime character. Okay, and the whole album is about the same anime but different characters. That's cool. At U9Y. Hello, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun to find these artists that are just so like original. They are new and they're fresh, but they do have something of an old style to them, so you can latch onto that right away and be like, yeah, I resonate with that, So very cool stuff. I'm gonna go back to. You play the drums too. Yeah, very cool. I'm hoping we are on the same page with some of these songs. But if you have anything that I need to listen to, put that in the in the chat, and I'd love to hear it as well. again, maybe the only thing I would recommend or kindly request from the viewers is if you can find something that isn't labeled explicit, and I would really appreciate that. My hope is that this is a family-friendly channel, and it will stay that way. But anything would be welcome. What about FMAF songs? I don't know the acronym. I'm sorry if you need to spell it out, but I'm not familiar with that acronym. Alone, yeah. Let's see if we can find. Okay, if we just did. One. Is it 5? No. Is it 5? Is it 5 Nights at Freddy's by the Living Tombstones? Okay, that is a little creepy. I may have to skip that one. Yeah. Oh, wow. Now, that's really cool. I'll tell you why in a second. And then it's straight. That is okay. We're gonna have too much to talk about today. But thank you. I again thank you for this recommendation. This is why I love what we do here, because in the drumming industry we talk about things that maybe I don't know, maybe you don't know, but we share them and we talk about what makes them so unique and so special. The reason this is so cool again is because it's EDM technically, but they're using so much rock, almost like Imagine Dragons, right? But it's so groovy that it's very digitized. You can tell, with the vocals and everything, but it sounds so cool. It's like, it's a thing of its own. And I like too about the other thing I like about this song is that it breaks itself up into like parts, into movements, right? So right now I'm going to college for music. And formally speaking, that's a classical thing. You break your songs up into movements. This is kind of harkening back to how we make music, right? How we've been making music for hundreds of years. This is I'm gonna save this one. So even though it sounded creepy, it was cool. So thank you for letting me know about that. Yeah, let me just double check here. Oh yeah, yeah, that is really cool. Hey Catalina, hi, how you doing? Good to see you again. I hope you had a good day, and so I'm glad you could jump on board again. You said there is never alone again. I love that song, which is about the fourth game. Interesting. So this is and sometimes this happens, right? Is this a song that would be part of a soundtrack for a video game? Because I'm an old soul, and I don't exactly know what's trending right now. So this could be something like that, where I've seen that before. I think some of my students for where I teach, they talk about Roblox or they talk about Minecraft. I think more Roblox than Minecraft. And they're like, so there's a song that I heard, and I'm like, okay, so it may have something to do with that. If you want to let me know, yeah. Okay, so it's not. It's okay. But yeah, so yeah, cool, very cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna. Did I say that one? 5 Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, very cool. Okay. Five Nights at Freddy's is it's a game series, but it's an online game, right? I imagine. Yeah, PCs, they're getting really, yeah. I don't do video games. People call me crazy, but I think I am still sane. Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, you're educated. You are definitely Denki E8GJ. You're definitely educating me here. So thank you. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, Catalina. Even though we don't play too much video games, right? I mean, it's we can I think still be sane. Maybe, maybe, yeah. So yeah, let's keep the ball rolling, and it's a horror game. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't do horror games, but yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. So I think did Five Nights at Freddy's did that just become a movie adaptation? I may have seen something. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they make a movie off of that? I wasn't interested because I'm not interested in horror movies, but I was just something just clicked in my mind. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna continue with a little bit more rudiments, the flams that is, and then if you have any other song suggestions, let me know. We can go from there. I wanted to also demonstrate, I don't know if you guys took a look at the agenda, but I have some things that I wanted to touch on. From 3:15 to 3:30, a review of what we talked about, and we're already behind schedule. Yeah, it just became a movie. We're not completely insane yet. We still got our minds. Yeah, that's cool. Was it? Sometimes it's hard, when you make a movie off of a video game. How is it going to turn out? Are people going to like it, or are they going to hate it? Did you happen to watch it? That might be, the only thing that I can think about is if you love the video game, you might not like the movie. It's kind of like if you love the book, And the first movie isn't scary. Okay. Okay. So yeah. And that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, well, Catalina, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon. Take care. No worries at all. And God bless you. And yeah, it went game to book to move. Oh my goodness. That is messed up. If you have three in a row, game to book to movie, that is crazy. That is crazy. Oh man. Yeah, so we wanted to talk a little bit about what we did yesterday. And so here's the rundown. Yesterday, and in fact, Catalina, who just had to leave the chat, she had a couple of interesting observations. And we were also talking with another gentleman who was from India. Basically, we were talking at my work what we like to listen to. And I don't know what again, like you seem to have a great taste in the independent rock and the EDM style. We were talking about country, we were talking about rock, and we were talking a little bit about jazz as well. So we have do some drum. Again, if you would kindly refrain from any expletives, I would appreciate that. But thank you for the request. The thing is, I'm not those guys. Those dudes are a whole different breed of drummers, but I can do a little bit of, like a marching roll. So something that they may do much better than I would, because I'm a drum set drummer, right? I'm one of those guys. Be like, but what they do, man, it's on a whole different level. It's on a whole different level. All they do is they just jam on snares. They jam on the tenors, right? Those are the drums that go, and yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch them play. But yeah. FixK 113. Thank you for your suggestion. Yeah, that's cool. And Stay Calm is an amazing song. I'll try. We'll try one more here and see what that's like. But yeah, Stay Calm. Is it again by 5? Is Griffinilla. Looks like it's that. There's a shadow on the wall. Stay calm, stay calm. There's a figure in the hall. Stay calm, stay calm. Keep my wits and stay alive. Wish I had 9-5. There's a stranger in a stall. Stay calm, stay calm. Every hair is on its end. That's fine, I'm fine. Feeling my adrenaline. You can tell it's cool. It's building up. Again, how do you explain this, right? What do you call this? It's almost like a combination of like 1960s pop rock . There's something about this that reminds me of the 60s, but then again, there's so much more that they do to add on so that it sounds new again, right? I guess the only thing I can point to being 60s-ish would be the organ, because it has that like almost carnival sound, carousel, which is, I think, on purpose, so it makes it sound kind of creepy. At the same time, I do like a little organ that sounds like a carousel. Anyway, that's just me. But that's cool. That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. So, that's a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, I think, right? That's how you say it? Cool. But yeah, so let's take a little bit more of a look at what we did, and then we'll go from there, because I think there's a lot that needed to be said. We weren't able to say it. As we continue with our streams, I think one of the biggest things we're going to talk about is the trajectory of music, and I think you're already pointing this out. You know, it's so cool how everything ties in from the 60s to today. We were talking as early as, I don't know, the 1930s or 40s, and we were talking about how music has evolved. Pop music at that time was like jazz, but now it's morphed into a lot of other things. So, in any case, we have, let me look at my agenda again. We're doing good. Now we need to transition to the drum set. And what I'm going to do for you guys is a little bit of practicing for the content that I've been required to play for class in college. And my teacher was kind enough to teach me some things that I was requesting. So he was like, you know, what? Man, you can't see me like that, bruh. I'll move it there. That's better. So he was like, what kind of genre would you like to play? And I said, well, we could do some Latin stuff, because I'm not really good at my Latin rhythms, and I wish I was. I'm more familiar with Brazilian rhythms, because I wanted to learn that. That's part of my roots. But he's like, so Calypso and Soca would be great starting points. And I'm like, yeah, Soca, because isn't that the one that goes, you know, dun 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 dun? He's like, yeah, but it's not quite that. It's yes, and it's more than that. So he was teaching me a little bit, and I've been trying to work on it. So I hope that by now it's gotten a little bit better. I may need the muffler for the drum, for the snare drum here, but we'll see. So basically, the soca rhythm is basically taking Calypso, and it's really making it fast, super fast. So you got to work on endurance, and you got to work on clarity, so that everything comes out nice and neat. So and I haven't practiced yet today, so I'm working on it. But we'd be trying something like this. and it really makes you want to dance. And so it's a really cool genre to play, and it's become popular, he said, in a lot of parties. And so you find the soca rhythm prevalent when people just want to have a good time. But there's a lot of variation to that, he said. That's just the starting point. When you learn soca, you got to learn some variations that the musicians learn to keep the audience engaged and what they want to hear for 10 minutes straight. So one of those is to add in some more notes on the hi-hats. So it's really, once you get cooking, it's hard to stop, but that's the idea. Now I gotta go get either my computer or my phone to see what's going on, because I need to see. I can't see anything. I am really bad with my eyesight. This should work. All right, so yeah, soca is kind of fun, but it is hard. Yeah. You would say that's like final boss type stuff? Yeah, exactly. Hey, Denki, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, and it's pronounced F-A, FNAF. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, sounds good. So, gonna make sure we, oh man, keep on listening to some great music. Keep on listening to some great music out there. There's too much to look at. Too much. So yeah, so soca is kind of like along those lines, and I basically mess around with the hi-hats. I hope that you can hear this clear enough. It's a lot different. In this room, it's pretty open, and at my work, it's a lot easier to play. The sound comes through much better. But, so we were at, yeah. So that's the first variation, and we have some stuff. You did it. Cool. All right. So we also have the bass drum that can add or subtract, and we can do some more on what we would call the upbeat. Actually, it's not easy. It's kind of like you see it's done. Like, yeah, bro, I can play that in my sleep, and so good for you. We're all we're all working on this though together, right? So it's fun though. It's fun, and some of them really cook. They really go fast, you know. Yeah, but I'm not there yet. So anyway. The other variation was just adding a little bit more bass, and it would be going. Yeah, but I'm still working on that pattern, so that would go. Syncopation with the bass and then with the snare, and it's just a lot. So, but it's fun. So that's a little bit of soca music, and that's what I'm working on right now. And previously, you know, last semester I was working on some jazz, and the reason I wanted to learn some jazz was because I've always enjoyed playing some swing, but I've never understood really how it's supposed to flow. And so jazz ensemble was really cool. In case you're wondering, and don't think right away it's just all about that intellectualness. It's not. It's a little bit easier than just that. If you were to take 2 drumsticks, you know, that's all you're doing. That's the basic swing pattern, and that's all you do, right? And so a lot of it has to revolve around the swing pattern, and a lot of it revolves around your hi-hat. So if we were to just review that, it would be something like this. I think you might need to hear the cymbal for this. Obviously, because I'm putting the pads on, it's a lot muted that way, and so you can't really tell what exactly it's supposed to feel like because it's not washing over you. But that's the pattern. If you practice that, it gets really easy to just groove and swing with the beat. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations with regards to some jazzy stuff, I would love to hear what you guys have. Sometimes I feel like the new modern sound is becoming more jazzy than it used to be. Like there's that one singer, Lover Girl, right? Lofi or Lofy, Laufey. That singer, she's really good, and that Lover Girl song is pretty much bossa nova, right? It's like da 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 da. I was probably playing that a little bit too hard, but that's bossa nova. You know, it's really just smooth jazz, and I'm like, this is amazing. One of my students was like, we got to play this, and I'm like, I guess you're right, we got to play it. But it came out recently, and I never heard of it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun though. Now, according to the agenda, we need to. Where do we wanted to go from here to? Yeah. If anybody else, at this point in time, if anybody else has a recommendation, we can do that as well. You guys can ask me any question. And again, feel free because this is an open forum. I know it's a lot about drums and all you see is drums in front of you. But part of it too is being a ministry for other people. So if you have any comments or questions about anything, I'm happy to answer them. Again, just feel free to submit anything and just make it family friendly. But I'm going to practice a little more, and some of that might have to be bossa nova. That's a lot of fun. Another beat that I like to play from Brazilian culture would be bossa nova, is what I just said. Samba. And there's this fun version of samba, which is kind of, and go Brazil and go USA. I don't know if you guys have any skin in the game with regards to the World Cup, but we're hanging on. But yeah. So Brazilian samba is kind of, it's a mixture of things, and there's a lot of ways you can play it. But one of the main ways that I found out when I was young was to play something like a samba march, they would call it. And it would go something like this. This is one of my favorite beats to play. Because it goes a lot faster than that. we were using a technique here that you really shouldn't be using if you're a new drummer, if you're a beginner drummer, putting your index finger on the drumstick, right? This is actually not ideal. Why? Because it puts a lot of tension on your finger, and you could hurt yourself that way in the long term. But for samba march, you kind of have to use it, and it's an exception to the rule only because if you do that on your drum, it would mute the sound, and you would be able to get something different, right? It may sound the same to you, but it sounds a little bit different here. So open, muted, the finger press, right? I slipped. There you go. And again, you can see it here. This is a good test to see if you're doing it right. If you put your finger on the stick, you put your stick in the head, and you press it in, and then you click your stick with the other to see how much you can tense it up. It's kind of cool, actually. It's not what you're supposed to do, but sometimes it's fun. So isn't that weird? That's kind of freaky. But it's what you can do if you want to get a little bit of sound that's different coming out of your drums. And so that's something that you only do on a rainy day. But yeah, so the samba march. Again, if I wanted to really cook with this, it would have to be something like this. 1, 2, 3. The whole time. So it's a lot of fun. All right. Yeah, it's fun. Very cool. So oh my goodness, that's pretty much it. So to wrap up, yeah, and we need to talk about some other stuff that we want to play and do. I'm going to practice a little bit while I'm doing this so that I stay warm. I need to make sure I stay warm. I'm going to move this back over there. You have a lot of stuff to work with, you know, and for us and our purposes here, we want to practice as much as we can with a lot of varying genres. If we can do that, I think we'd be looking great. It's a lot of fun to just practice a bunch of stuff. And I think he may have left already, or she, but I wanted to touch on that one song. I forgot what I was going to say, and I just remembered now. It was during, oh man, it was for that one song. It was, okay, hold on. First it was, wait. Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was the first one. Alone? I think it was Alone. Okay. Stay. Oh, then I'm gonna stay. Alone. What was that Five Nights at Freddy's? That's so weird. Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of syncopation here. The part that I wanted to touch on was the fact that in the syncopation involved, you have the snare being the foundation for the beat and not the bass. It's weird. It's the other way around. So it's not the bass. Ah, there we go. It's not the bass, it's the snare. And that means that the whole song is kind of flipped for that pre-chorus, right? So uh, it was like boom. You did a couple snare hits before you did the bass, and that to me is one of the coolest things about this music, this song, because the music is different. It's not, it's not maybe the song that everybody would be like, yeah, I want to listen to that right now, but maybe it is. It's the cool thing that it's different and it's original in that it's nobody's ever heard of that before. So that's what I love about this kind of music, and I appreciate your request because we need to constantly expand our horizons when it comes to understanding EDM, rock, rhythm and blues, even I don't know things yet to be explored. It was like da 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 boom da 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 boom da 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 da, and then it goes to a straight pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It was just fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I would say we got to go from there somewhere. We got to go somewhere from there. Where's the agenda? Yeah. So basically, now I think we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to share some ideas that I have for next time. We're going to do this again, Lord willing, on Thursday, and we'll be here to do a live stream about some ideas I think that we should be exploring in the summertime. So some of the things that I've noticed is doo-wop music and 50s rock and roll, 60s rock and roll. It's been huge. At least there's been some feedback with that on the channel, and so I'd love to do some talk about that and discuss what makes them so cool. We'll look at some songs, we'll dissect them and see how they go. But if you have any requests again, let me know, because you can come back on Thursday. We'll be here again around the same time, around maybe 3 to 4, or maybe we'll do it a little bit later. I got some stuff in the afternoon, but we can do something like this again this Thursday and go from there. I'm also thinking of some other stuff. If you have any requests for shorts, I'm taking requests now. It's quickly filling up. I have about 5 more slots open. I would do 10 requests each couple weeks or so that people, if they want to see a snippet of a song that they really like, you can send that to me in the chat or in any video really, and let me know, and then I'll be checking. You guys can let me know. So we can do some shorts as well and talk about some songs that way too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Thursday, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. I think that's about it. I'm just gonna keep practicing, for the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. If you guys have anything you want to tell me, let me know, and I'll be happy to talk about them with you. So we're gonna continue again with the flams. I wanted to do some more of that. The guy that I was asking for drum line stuff. Yeah, the flams are huge. The flams are huge. They're a huge part of drum lining. hear it, but. Yeah. Oh my goodness. PA Brew News. Cheers, man. You're 44 and you are just starting to learn the drums. Going to start trying to lead with my non-dominant hand and foot. Hope to be able to learn to play some 90s metal and stuff at some point. Yes, sir. Now, I want to say this. In case you're wondering, something I usually do for my left hand, which is well, for you it's mirrored in the stream, but the left hand is not my dominant, it's my right. And for the left hand, I just try to do everything that I do with my right with my left. So I would just do that, right? You're starting out with the drums, start with, basic rudiments. Right hand lead, single stroke roll. Left hand lead, single stroke roll, and so on and so forth. Need I say more? So that's what I would do, because in no time will you be able to get better with your confidence and your left hand, and your left hand might almost outweigh or outperform your right hand. So that's just what I've tried to do over the years. So it becomes like, if you're not going to just do curls with one, you got to do them evenly to distribute the weight. And it helps your arms to stay balanced that way. So one thing I will say is a good roll to work with would be maybe the what was that one? This is the, I'm sure you know this one, this is the paradiddle. And the paradiddle is excellent work for keeping the hands evenly distributed. Right, left, right, left, left. Yeah, it's all about control, and it takes a little bit, but it's fun. Yeah, man. I hope that you have a great time working with that. I'd love to see you around, and hope you have a great rest of your day. 90s metal and rock, that would be so cool. And I don't know what your experience has already been like with that kind of music. Maybe you play a different instrument. You play. Yeah, please do. Please do join us on Thursday. If you already play guitar, bass, piano, anything else, if you work on any other instrument, you can already kind of tell what 90s metal and rock music is going to be like for the drums. There needs to be a solid beat. There needs to be a solid beat for what you want to do. And those guys did it best, I love a little bit of Nirvana, with the Smells Like Teen Spirit, their biggest hit. I've had to teach that to some of my students, and they've enjoyed playing that. I think the drummer's name is Mr. Dave Grohl. He was amazing. And some of the 90s rockers, again, in any genre or in any era for any genre, I wonder if these guys knew what they were doing. Were they really aware of the fact that they were setting up the standard for how to play according to that time, 30 years from now? You know what I mean? It's really cool to think about. But yeah, then in the 90s, you also had Metallica. You had... I'm trying to think of some other 90s rock. I'm more old school. I go to the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, and not so much of the 90s, but I like where you're coming from. Yeah, so it's just fun stuff. Fun stuff. Pearl Jam, huge rock band in the 90s. Did you? Black and death metal mostly. Wow. That is, those guys are really hard. Okay, so that's a little bit above my pay grade. I do not work with double bass, although I've tried to learn some ways to work in double bass kind of stuff with my low tom. So you can kind of fake it with one bass drum pedal and your right hand going, and it kind of works, but only for a short burst of speed, a short amount of time. Black death metal is something I do not yet know how to play. Maybe at some point I will have to, but I believe from what I've heard, that's more of the side of, because I'm familiar with the genre in general. It's more, is it more aggressive, and is it more distorted? Is it more, is it faster paced most of the time? And there's not a lot of reprieve. You have to go. Because that's tough. That's real. I give those guys a lot of credit. That's really tough drumming. Yeah, been going at it since '96. Wow, that is really cool. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, with all these bands, you know that have been around for so long, but they just get better over time. You know, yeah. One thing I can say is to work with your feet. If you want to do double bass, just do what you do with your hands for your feet. That's a given. You know, I use a book, and the book isn't here. It's actually at work. I left it at work. The book that I used to develop my stick control is Stick Control from 1935, written by George Lawrence Stone. And those exercises you can put to your feet, and you can work on that because it would help your feet to get almost as fast, if not as fast, as your hands. Yeah, I think something just came in and I didn't see it. Did I miss it? Okay. Just need to work on timing and coordination right now. Yeah, it's all about, you're right. You're absolutely right. So if you did, that's right. Paradiddles. We were talking about paradiddles. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Paradiddles with your feet can also help. You know, it's just fun to play around with that. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Yeah, my right foot's obviously like it's a lot faster, and my left foot's like, what are we doing right now? But it's it's the same idea, and so yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. If we were just talking a little bit ago, earlier in the stream, about some songs that maybe people would recommend for me to check out, so then we can expand our horizons and go from there. If you have a song, you know, I know maybe black death metal is a little. It's hard to choose a song that maybe would be family friendly. But if there's a song that you've come across, please submit it, and I would love to check it out. The only requirement, you know, for the suggestions in the chat and for the videos that I do, is to have, you know, as little, if not any, explicit stuff. But yeah, I would appreciate some, you know, recommendations to, you know, to constantly improve. You know, we got to work on that. So yeah, I was gonna finish up with some flams, and yeah. So as you can see, my flams with my Swiss Army triplets for flams on the left-hand lead is definitely weaker than the Swiss Army triplet flam lead on my right. Got to work on that. But yeah, so that's about making things constantly, making them balance. on it. We'll work on it. Yeah. But yeah, so but it's fun. Swiss Army triplets are a lot of fun to play. I'm used to going this way. Yeah, but we'll work on it. Yeah, sounds good. See you Thursday. I hope you may have already taken off. Okay. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you Thursday, man. So yeah. The last thing I want to say before we finish for today. Yeah. Sneak peek of new upload ideas and farewell. Let's go with I wanted to say something. Okay. I think so. Basically, in the next couple of days, I'm going to try to work on this. So we're going to have some uploads for the shorts. You're going to see some cool covers again, hopefully, of both Christian and secular songs. I like to do a little bit of both because it's part of what we do in the ministry, in the drumming ministry channel. We try to take a little bit of the sacred, if you will, and the non-sacred, and we try to use our brains. And Catalina was saying this a little bit ago in the chat. We try to stay sane, right? We try to maintain a level of appreciation and objectivity when it comes to analyzing songs out in the real world. So whether you're religious or not, it doesn't have to be that case. If you jump here in the Drumming Ministry channel, you're going to see a lot of things that you may be like, well, that's interesting, and I don't agree with everything that we may play, but I do see that there's a lot of value in each of the things that we may play. And so that's what I want to try to extend to you guys is the knowledge base and the understanding of, well, we can take almost anything under the sun and find some appreciation in it. That's why we do what we do here, and I hope you enjoy that kind of content. We're going to take a look at some hopefully some music history on Thursday. We're going to look again at some other. If you have any recommendations or questions, let me know again on Thursday. We can take a look at that. And then we'll also be practicing a lot again. I need to work on my Soca beat for my professor, so he's happy. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm looking forward to Thursday. And if we can, maybe we'll try to squeeze in one tomorrow. But we'll see. So keep an eye out. And please, if you like what you see, subscribe and pass the word along. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. Oh my goodness. Keep on rocking and rolling, everybody. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time yet.